Can XRP hit $20 in the 2022 bull run? In this video, what I'm going to show you is two main things from a structural standpoint and from a percentage increase standpoint. Does that target make sense, or is it too low and XRP price is going to bust through that round, beautiful psychological number? Let's dive into the charts and let's get it. Here we go. So what you're staring at right now is the XRP chart on the daily scale, and I have on an EMA here, which is the daily 200, because when it's below it, generally bad, below it, generally bad, when it's above it, generally good. Right now it's above it, generally good. And so that's one thing you're looking at from a structural standpoint. Also, these lines that you see here, these are origin lines. My channel is home of the origin lines. I technically invented them. Hey, I have a question. Okay, what's your question? Those are just straight lines. You don't invent straight lines. Well, let's just say I did for the purpose. However, the way I aligned them and the way I utilize them. So let's say that somebody for the first time ever used a hammer to invent a time machine. Okay, everybody can have a hammer, but it's the way you utilize it, correct? All right, so here we go. They are a little bit more special. In my community, within my Patreon Discord community, they seem to like them as well because they definitely work. So that's what you're seeing structurally here, right? And also I have three vertical lines and I have labeled them. These three lines that are labeled end of year, May and September are three just whimsical guesses on when the bull run might end. Since we don't know when the bull run ends, you know, perhaps the 4-year cycle maintains and things just blast off before the end of the year and the cycle's over, or an extended cycle going into May or into September. September to me makes the most sense because early September would allow people to start selling before the quarterly close September 30th. So I'm making three guesses with these vertical lines on when the bull run will end. That's the purpose. And what we're going to do here from a structural standpoint is determine, hey, does it make sense where these origin lines meet up? Does it make sense that it can meet these targets based on where XRP hit those same lines back farther down before they had ascended to this degree? So that's what we're going to do first. And then after we take a look, does it make sense from a structural standpoint? We're going to look from a percentage standpoint. Does it also make sense? But before we jump into that, if you like what you see here, or if you're a returning viewer, hit like, and if you don't, you get flipped off. And if you're new, go ahead and hit subscribe, hit that bell so you can stay in the know, and don't hesitate to check out the links to my Patreon Discord community in the description section. Let's jump back into this. So what we have here is we have XRP raced up to this line, this origin line. So I am going to bold that. I think that XRP could race up to that same line. So let's make that bold. But if you zoom way in on there, this line actually got wicked past and it almost hit the dash line. So I'm also going to make bold that dash line, and wherever these hit on the end of year or end of bull run targets, I think from a structural standpoint that it could make sense. And you can see even this mini rally almost came up to that bold line. So I have a feeling, have a gut feeling, and this is really just the way the especially monetary coins that are not a blockchain business. So XRP is not Ripple, right? So XRP in and of itself is a monetary coin. It's used for transfer of funds across international borders. So, and similar to how Bitcoin is not a blockchain business, but Ethereum is. Ethereum, the token, is it propels the ecosystem, but it is in essence a blockchain business. And Ripple and XRP kind of pseudo there, but they're separating a little bit more. All right, here we go. So let's assume races up end of year just to the bottom line. Where does that put it? $12. What if it wicks past it, hits the dash line? And you can see on the right hand side. So see how these numbers are changing over here? Look at what it says right there. $20 even. All right. So that would require a ton of fireworks at the end of the year, right? And the bull market or the bull cycle ends end of year, but you'd have a bunch of fireworks and you would obviously be cashing in to the bank, laughing all the way to the bank with $12 to $20 XRP. So you can see here though, that if the bull run goes longer and it still hits those lines, the price will be higher. So we still have several more options left within this guess, this guess that it's going to hit one of these two lines. So if the bull run were to end in May, that bottom line is $17 and the dashed line is $27. Whew, that would be amazing, wouldn't it? All right, now let's take a look at if the bull run went longer and XRP did something like this, consolidated, blah, blah, then went parabolic in September, that would be $33. So since I think so. Since so you have 4 options within here: this intersection, intersection. 3 out of 4 are above $20. I think it is possible that the psychological number of $20 might be blown past. I think it has a good shot. That's with the assumption end of year is statistically likely at this point not to be end of the bull run. All right, so that's what we got from a structural basis. Now let's start measuring. Let's take a quick transition here. Let's take a quick transition here and start measuring from a percentage basis. All right, so if from current price, if XRP were to race up end of year and hit that $20 mark, that would be an 1800% run. Okay, so that is roughly 19x, because 100% increase is 2x, 200% increase is 3x. So essentially add 1, right? So if it says 18 at the beginning, it's 19x when you're in the thousands there, right? So it's a 19x. All right, let's take a look at here. So from the point that it blasted, that went up 5,000%. So typically, as a market cap grows within a coin, its pops from a percentage basis get smaller and smaller and smaller. So does this 1800% blast off, is it significantly smaller than 5400%? Yes, it is. So right now we are agreeing both structurally and from a percentage basis. I mean, that a $20 target looks pretty good, and 1800% is significantly lower, much less than half of this run here, and that's not even counting the rest of this run over here, right? Like this is potentially conservative targets, and I'm not even particularly part of the XRP army, even though I am accumulating some futures positions in it during a recent dip here in October, but because of all these bounces on the daily 200, which is awesome. So one thing to note here is that the last time this popped, right, it was generally under and it just took off. It made up for it, similar to how Litecoin did. So comparing 1800 to 5400, I think that this has much better support so that it can actually close the gap closer to 5400, and that 1800 it could be a little low, be from a structural standpoint on the daily 200 EMA. All right, so let's take a look from a percentage basis what these other intersections. So we have 4 more intersections here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's take a look at from current price what that would be. Let's assume roughly these bounces on the daily 200, roughly where XRP is now at $1.05, around $1, what that would be from a percentage basis. So let's get up to the first intersection. That'd be 1500%. So that would put you at 16 bucks. So the other intersection, which was the $27 mark, that's only 25, which is still less than half of 5400, still less than half. Very realistic. That's almost 30 bucks, less than half the previous run, and from a structural standpoint, you have a better base. All right, and then the last two here, so September, if it hits the bottom line there, that's only 2100%, significantly less than half of 5400, and the top line 3400. Okay, which is over 50% of this prior run. However, it does not include this. So it's still, even this top area here, $33, okay, is only about 60% of XRP's first run. Now, is the market cap a hell of a lot higher? Absolutely. Absolutely it is. So the idea that it goes more than 50% of this first run, but maybe it has 2 runs where the first one is significantly lower and the second one really pops. So it could have 2 runs between now and September to get to that just over 50% of this one run. I think that is totally possible, especially when you consider it's got a great base on the daily 200. So again, everybody here, if you liked what you saw, hit like, leave me a comment for the algo on your way out. And if you're new, you enjoyed this video, hit subscribe and check out the 2 videos that are popping up over here on both sides of the screen up high. I'm a newer YouTuber. I don't know what I'm doing. Check out these videos. They could greatly change the outlook of how much gains you take home to the bank in this bull run. We'll see you next time.